Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada. Jai Gaura Pramanande. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye. Nasta Prayesu Abhadresu Nityam Bhagavatam Sevaya Bhagavate Uttamastoke Bhakti Bhavati. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 22, Text 59. Dharmarat iva siksayam, Dharmarat iva siksayam, Acharya imavan ivam, Acharya imavan ivam, Kuvera eva kosadyo, Kuveraiva kosadyo, Guptarto varuno yadham, Guptarto varuno yadham, Dharmarariva sikshayam, Acharye himavanibham, Kuverahiva kosadyo, Guptarto varuno yadham, Dharmarareva sikshayam, Acharye himavan ibham, Kuverahiva kosadyo, Guptardo varuno yadham. Mataji. Dharmarat eva, like King Yamaraj, the superintendent of death. Sikshayam, in education. Acharya, in opulence. Imavan eva, like the Himalaya mountains. Kuvera, the treasurer of the heavenly planet. Eva, like Kosahadyam, in the matter of possessing wealth. Gupta Harta, secrecy. Varuna, the demigod named Varuna. Yada, like Maharaj Prithu's intelligence and education were exactly like that of Yamaraj, the superintendent of death. His opulence was comparable to the Himalaya mountains, where all valuable jewels and metals are stocked. He possessed great riches like Kuvera, the treasurer of the heavenly planet, and no one could reveal his secrets for they were like the demigod Varunas. Purported by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Yamaraj or Dharmaraj, as the superintendent of death, has to judge the criminal living entities who have committed sinful activities throughout their life. Consequently, Yamaraj is expected to be most expert in judicial matters. Prithu Maharaj was also highly learned and exceedingly exact in delivering his judgment upon the citizens. No one could excel him in opulence any more than estimate the stock of minerals and jewels in the lost it. Okay, you lost it. You are expert. It is a puppet.
Maharaj Gamaraj, as the superintendent of this junction, who have committed sinful activities throughout their life. Consequently, Yamaraj is expected to be the most expert in judicial matters. Prithu Maharaj was also highly learned and exceedingly exact in delivering his judgment on the citizens. No one could excel him in opulence any more than no one could excel him in opulence any more than estimate the stock of minerals and jewelry in the Himalayan mountain. Therefore, he is compared to Kuvera, treasurer of the heavenly. Nor could anyone discover the secrets of his life any more than learn the secrets of Varuna, demigod presiding over the water, the night, and the western sky. Varuna is omniscient, and since he punishes sins, he is prayed to for forgiveness. He is also the sender of disease and is often associated with Mitra and Indra.
Om Agyanatimirandasya Jnananjano Salakaya Chaksuranmalitamena Tasmai Sri Gurue Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeyam Sri Gurun Sri Yutapada Kamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavam Cha Sri Rupam Sangrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Tam Sajivam Sarvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saidam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Visaktan Vitamscha E Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopisa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrisabhano Sudhe Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalpatrubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evecha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Dharmarari Vasikshayam Asarya Imavan Iva Viraiva Kosadyo Guptarto Varuno Yatham. Maharaj Prithu's intelligence and education were exactly like that of Yamaraj, the superintendents of death. His opulence was comparable to the Himalaya mountains, where all valuable jewels and metals are stocked. He possessed great riches like Kuvera, the treasurer of the heavenly planets. And no one could reveal his secrets, for they were like the demigod Varunas. So here we are continuing the subject matter of Prithu Maharaj. Here from this chapter we would be able to see how the Lord himself has appeared to show to the world what is real leadership means. An exemplary leadership. Before him, King Vena's leadership was rejected by the religious personalities because it was going against the path, the principle of religion. And there has to be an exemplary leadership. In the chapter 3:21, The Lord says, Yat yat acharati shrestha tat tat ivataro jana shayam pramanam kurute lokas tadanvartate. In that purport, Prabhupada have clearly mentioned, people in general, they need a good leadership, especially exemplary leadership. There are so many religion in the world, there are so many different kinds of organization. But somewhere or other, the world is going into more trouble day by day. There are more problems arises. Even they increase their leaders in the world, because none of them are able to control their mind and senses, even though in speech they are very well educated. But unfortunately, coming into the practice of what they're talking become very difficult for almost every leaders in the world. Prabhupada writes in the purport, you cannot tell somebody to stop smoking if you yourself are smoking. And Prabhupada says that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes to the world to show to the people what is real leadership means. Even Krishna, there is no requirement for Krishna to appear in the world. But Krishna himself comes to the world to show to the people what is real leadership means. The chapter 3, text 22, Krishna proclaimed, Name partasi kartavyam risu loke na kinchana nana vaptam avaptavyam varta eva cha karmane. Trisu lokesu kinchana means within these three worlds. Krishna says he has no duty to perform. There is no prescribed duty Krishna has to perform. Yet Krishna himself appeared in the world. Utsileyo rime loke nakuryam karma chet aham sankarasya chakartam sham upahanyam ima praja. In the text 3, chapter 3, text 24, Krishna says, if I myself do not come and show the way of life to the people of this world, then the whole world will be put into ruination. And he says that, I'll be the cause for the ruin of the world. So that is very important for all of us to take the message inside us and apply it in our day-to-day life so that the devotee can bring the great changes in the world. The Vaishnavas, devotees of the Lord, are the great hope for the world. But if the Vaishnavas themselves are not being exemplary, only talking and talking and talking, but not executing. Today, people have become very tired of religion, very tired of organization. It's not they are not inclined towards the path of religion. It's just they are tired. But nobody would be able to show them the example, the action in their life. Every religion talks about peace and prosperity. They talk about peaceful way of life. There are religion claims that they are very loving religion. And, so many wonderful words, they utter from their scripture. But somewhere or other, everybody are very self-motivated. They've got a selfish interest in whatever they do. That is why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Sanatan Goswami, looking at, Haridas Thakur was chanting very nicely. Mahaprabhu says, Apana achara keha na kare na prachara, prachara khale na keha na kareha achara. Achara prachara na mera duve karya. तुम्हें सर्वगुरु तुम्हें जगत गुरु आर्या. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told that there are people who behave very well, but they do not preach the message of Krishna for the betterment of the world. And there are people, they preach very well, but they do not behave well. He told, being a devotee of the Lord, you should be simultaneously chant the holy name of the Lord, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And preach and practice Krishna consciousness. In this way, you become the Guru for the whole world. Prabhupada movement is the only hope. It can uplift, it can bring the great changes in the world, provided we devotees take the message very seriously. That too understands Prabhupada teaching and practice it in our own self and preach to others. Otherwise, people don't worry about Hare Krishna movement. You know, there are so many information has been given in the Shastra, but the essence of the information is very important. Somewhere or other, the essence is that always remember Krishna. Never forget Krishna. Smartavyam satatam Vishnum vismartavyam najatu chet sarve nidhi. Beautifully been explained that Krishna is the origin of Lord Vishnu. And there are two principles only important for the human life is to always remember Krishna. Never forget Krishna. If you always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna, there is no way anybody can do any wrongdoing in the world. Because you see Krishna is witnessing, is all pervading, is witnessing every of our action. When you remember Krishna, there is no way. That is what Lord Krishna told Uddhava. After the war of the Mahabharata, Uddhava have asked Krishna, are you real friend of Pandavas? So Krishna asked him, you have doubts on it. No, you tell me what is real friend means. Krishna says real friend means whenever you are in trouble or anything, the real friend is there always beside you. It's not good time is with you and bad time he run away from you. Then only Uddhava asked him, are you real friend of Pandava? Krishna says, of course, yes. Then he says, then how come you did not help the Pandava? When they were gambling, the dice game, you should have helped them. But how come you did not help them? Not helping is another matter. But at least you should have stopped the gambling match. Wouldn't have come to this problem. And even if you are not able to stop, at least you should make them to win the gamble. And you claim to be a very good friend, but you did not help them. And Krishna says, he says that there is a great rule in the material world to become success in life. You have to understand this thing. He says wisdom is a great rule to be successful in life of the human being. He said that wisdom at that time, Duryodhan had that wisdom. But Yudhishthira was lacked of that wisdom at that moment. What was that? He said, Duryodhan understand that I'm not expert in the gamble. I do not even know how to throw the dice properly. But my uncle Sakuni is very expert. and he can win the gamble for me. So he called Saguni. That was his wisdom. Whereas Yudhishthira was lacking in that wisdom, just like Duryodhan called his uncle Saguni. Krishna says, I'm also uncle to Yudhishthira. If Yudhishthira would have called me to back him on this gambling match, and you tell me who would have been if I gambled with Saguni? He says, wisdom is a great rules to be followed. It's not we are just got the knowledge. Knowledge doesn't give you wisdom altogether. The application of the knowledge. So here Krishna brings in, this wonderful narration of Prithu Maharaj. He was like an ordinary household man. He got a family with 5 children, but he is engaged in the process of devotional service. And he becomes the exemplary. And Prabhupada writes in many purports around, he says that he has followed the prescribed duty. And purification is very important subject matter in our life. Kayena manasa buddhaya kevaler indriya rapi. In the chapter 5, text 11, Krishna says that the only mission of human life is that Kayena manasa buddhaya. All their action, their speech, their mind, and their bodily action should be purified. There is no other mission in human life besides purification. Whatever we do, we have to make sure that every subject matter in our life can purify our life. That is the only mission of human life. Somewhere or other, due to the contamination in our heart, in our mind, in our life, we are putting ourselves in all kinds of trouble and difficulties because of the impurity anarthas. But somewhere or other, by the process of Krishna consciousness, we can purify our life. And that purification is very simple and very easy. There is no requirement for anybody to change anything in their life. There's a great formula Krishna has given for the perfection, for the success of human life. Sometimes I wonder whether in our Krishna conscious movement, whether we do follow that formula. We're very fortunate somewhere or other by coming into Prabhupada movement, by reading his books, we understand in the creation of the Lord, Chaturvarinya Maya Srishta Guna Karma Vibhagasa Tasya Karataram Apimam Vidya Kartaram Avyayam. The chapter 4, text 13, Krishna established. According to one's guna and karma, he has created 4 kinds of living beings. So there's a formula Krishna has given to be success in life. The whole Krishna movement can become exemplary to the world if they can understand there's a formula been given. Let us take the formula been given by the Supreme Lord himself. What is the formula? Is a Varna Ashram system has been established there. Varna and Ashram. There are social body and spiritual body. Of course, when you wanted to go to the level of Prema Bhakti, this does not come into the matter. But to go to that subject matter, Prema Bhakti, a higher level, we have to follow the procedure. Because not everybody in the world will be able to go after Prema Bhakti. There are people attached to their own bodily concept of life. So just few days before leaving body, Prabhupada was emphasizing, he was telling for a devotees to re-establish the Varnashram system. When Prabhupada was talking to Arichori Prabhu told Prabhupada, what is the requirement for us to establish this Varnashram system? We are already trying to make them Vaishnava devotees. Prabhupada says, no. He says to become a Vaishnava is not that easy. He said, practically you can see Amniya coming and Amniya going out. He says to remain as a Vaishnava, he said, not that easy. But there's an easy way for people to become Vaishnava devotees is by imbibing the Varnashram system in their life. There is what in the beginning, in the second chapter, Krishna is emphasizing to Arjuna. Swadharmam api chavekyam na vikampitum arhasi dharmayadi yudhasrayonya satriyanasya vidyate. In the chapter 2, text 31, Krishna says, Arjuna, Swadharmam, follow your Swadharma. And Prabhupada explains in the purport, Swadharma means social order and spiritual order. Very important for us to understand. In the name of a devotional service, we should not jump on this. Beautiful formula has been given by the Lord. Devotees should be living as an exemplary for others to follow. Ada chet tvam imam dharmyam sangramam na karisyasi tada swadharmam kirtim cha naivam papam ivapsyasi. In the chapter 2, text 33, Krishna says that, Arjuna, if you don't follow your swadharma, you will be implicated into sin. Akirtim chapi bhutane kadayasyami atwaham sambhavitasya chakritir maranaditirichyate. He says a person who has been honored, who's been living in a fame, he says this honor is worse than death. Who has been honored all the time, dishonor is worse than death. Krishna says it's very important for us to understand this subject matter. Although we know the higher subject matter, but it's very important for us to implement this subject, Varnashram education, for the betterment of the entire human society, because this is more easier for them to follow. Rather than the bhakti being demonstrated by the devotees of Vrindavan, the great Vaishnava acharyas, because these qualities are already imbibed in every living being. It's not something you have to bring it from outside. Whatever the social and spiritual order we are talking about is already imbibed, is already there in the living being. And even though there can be many defects in that order, in the practice of the living being, but that order is the perfection of human life. In the chapter 18, text 40, Krishna explains this thing. Nata dasti prithiviyamba divi deve subapuna sadvam prakriti jair muktam yad bishat tribher gune. Krishna says that Nata dasti pratimema divi devesu. Even the demigods are not free from the influence of the three modes of material nature. Brahmana, Satriya, Visam, Sudranam, cha Parantapa. Karmane, Pravibhaktane. Swabhavam tribir gune. He says people are distinguished according to their guna and karma. A person is known by Brahmana is not because he's taken birth in the Brahmin's family, because he has imbibed the quality of a Brahmana according to the three modes of material nature. A Brahmana, Satriya, Vaishya, and Sudra to be recognized. And Krishna says that all these people, even though they're influenced by the modes of material nature, all these people can attain perfection. In the chapter 18, text 45, Krishna explains, Swe Swe Karmani Abhirata Samsiddhim Labate Nara. He says that everybody can attain perfection by living according to the guna and karma they are born with. How? Yada pravartir bhutanam yena sarvam idam tatat swakarmam tam abhyarichya siddhim vindati manava. He said by coming and engaging in devotional service, by coming in contact with Krishna consciousness. Krishna says everybody can attain perfection. Sreyan swadharma vigunan paro dharma sunositat Swabhavaniyatan karma kuranapnoti kilbisam. In the 1847, Krishna says Sreyan Swadharma. It's very important for a person to understand what is Swadharma. Am I a Brahmana? Am I a Satriya, Vaishya, Sudra? Accordingly, we have to engage ourselves. That is why the children are sent to the Gurukul when you're 5 years old, because the Guru is able to identify whether this person, this boy, has got the nature of the Brahmana. What is the nature of the Brahmana? Samodhama, tapa, saucham, santir, arjavam, evacha, jnanam, vijnanam, astikyam, brahma, karma, subhavajam. Sama, that is very peaceful. If you claim yourself to be a Brahmana and you are not very peaceful, always anchoring and lamentating in the world, how will you become a Brahmana? Dhamma, self-control. Tapa, austerity. Saucham, cleanliness inside and outside. Samadhama, tapa, sauch. Santir, arjavam. Santir is very tolerant. Arjavam is very simple. Jnanam, he has got knowledge. And Vijnanam, he has got also application of his knowledge. Astikyam, he follow the principle of dharma. Other day I was explaining what is the principle of dharma. People talk about dharma. What is the principle? Krishna says, Yada yadai dharmasya glanir bhavati bharat abhyudanam dharmasya tadadmanam jamyaham paritranaya sadhunam vinasya chaduskrutam dharma samstapanataya sambhavami yuge yuge I come. When there are declined in the principle of dharma. And Prabhupada writes in the purport of 321 that how one should be exemplary, and his exemplary act should come from this Shastra. It's not about a manufactured, through mental, speculation. He said that information Prabhupada has given in the Manu Dharma, in the Bhagavatam. So Manu Dharma gives 20 principles to be followed for human being. He says that this is the general principle for people to follow. And number one, he says that ahimsa. People should become free from all kinds of violence. There are 3 kinds of violence: violence in the mind, violence in our speech, violence in our body. Our designation, our next life, all depend on the reaction of this mind, words, and the body. So Krishna in the 17th chapter and the 14th text onward, he speaks about, how to keep your mind, how to keep your speech, how to keep your action. Deva Dvija Guru Pragya comes. So here, Brahmana means that, the Vijnanam, the application of the knowledge should come. The devotees, the moment we apply this qualification in our life, automatically many people will start coming to our temple. And those who have come, they will never leave the temple. Prabhupada says your temple will become like a Vaikuntha atmosphere. No anxiety, because they don't see the anxieties in devotees' face. They see the devotees are very joyful, very happy, you know. So we can be very successful. That to identify people, not to push everybody into the same direction, that because we are lacking of manpower and whoever comes here that, we want to do somewhere or other, we got enough people to do some work here. They will go away because you do not understand where they are enjoying their nature. If you are doing things against our nature, we are not going to be doing this thing for a very long time. In the beginning, we may do because you do not understand. Maybe due to the devotees, atmosphere, due to the prasadam and other thing. The moment after sometimes you move on with Krishna consciousness, your nature also will start pushing you. So if we are Brahmana, we have to understand this guy have come to the temple, he has got a Brahmanical interest. So if he is very peaceful, he also like to be self-controlled. And with all this Brahmanical knowledge, we should engage them in some Brahmanical activities. Sauryam tejo driti daksham yuddham chapi aflayanam dhanam iswaram bhavam cha satram karma swabhavajam. And what is the qualification of a Satriya? Administrators. You cannot become a leader unless you are Satriya. And what is the Sauryam? Heroism. He is the hero. Nobody can shake him. Tejo, power. Dhritir, determination. Dakshyam, resourcefulness. Yuddham chapi, courage in the battle. He has got the leadership qualities, a very generosity. Krishna said this is the quality of a second person. Rishi Gorakya Vanijyam Vaishya Karma Swabhavajam Paricharyatmakam Karma Sudrasyapi Swabhavajam. And Krishna explained that those who are Vaishya businessmen, they like farming, they like cow protection, they like business. And Sudra, labor and service to others, is the quality of a Sudra. If we are able to preach to the people according to the nature of this person, he can understand, oh, I got hope in the material world to perfect my life because we are encouraging their position and we are giving them the platform of Prabhupada movement is called Krishna consciousness, where they become the best in whatever guna and karma they are situated. Very important. So here, Prabhupada says that, Prithu Maharaj is showing a good example that he is engaged in prescribed duty. Ada Pumbe Dvijasrasta Varnashrama Vibhagasa Vastinutasya Dharmasya Samsiddhi Aritochanam. In the Canto 1, Chapter 2, Text 13, Krishna, here, Sukadev Goswami explains, Adapimbe Dvijasrista Varnashrama Vibhagasa Vastinutasya Dharmasya Samsiddhim Aritochanam. That by following the Varnashram system, engaging whatever guna and karma we have got, he said by putting Krishna into the center of our activities, Aritoshanam, we do things for the satisfaction of Krishna. That is where the perfection comes into our life. For that reason, the purification, the samskaras have been given. Prabhupada writes in the purport that, Prithu Maharaj has got 5 children. Prabhupada says he has followed the samskara to attain, to get these children. Janmana jayate sudra samskara bhavadvija vela vala pipro brahma janati iti brahma. That by following the samskaras, purificatory process, then we are able to understand, we are able to come to the platform of Brahman. We understand that we are not this material body. We have nothing to do with the material body. We'll be working towards spiritual advancement. And there are 16 samskaras been given for the upliftment of the human life. One is called Garbhadan Samskara, second is called Pumsavanam, third is called Simontanayam, fourth is called Jada Karmam, fifth is called Nama Karanam, sixth is called Niskramanam, seventh is called Annaprashanam, eighth is called Siddha Karana, ninth is called Karnaveda, 10th is called Vidyaramba, 11th is called Upanayanam, 12th is called Vedaramba, 13th is called Kesarda, 14th is called Samavartana, 15th is called Vivaha, and 16th is called Antyesti. Antyesti is the final rites. When a person dies, and what to do with this body, what to do with the soul also we must teach them. How to prepare for the death. And after dying, what are the ceremonies to be followed? It may be not be very required for the devotees crowd, where we may say that has gone back to God, there's no requirement for me to do this thing, but Krishna wants us to do. The chapter 3, text 24, Krishna explains this thing. Sakta karmani avidvamsa vidwan. Sakta karmani avidvamsa yada kurvanti bharata kuryad vidvan tada sakta chikisi loka sangramam. Krishna said there are people working in this world, activities they're performing. Due to ignorance, they become attached to the worldly activities, whereas the devotees do the same thing, but they are not attached to. Krishna says, Chikisi Loka Sangramam. Devotees should be living, for example, for them to see, that's it. Devotee has nothing to do about any activities in the world because they go beyond, they're transcending the modes of material nature. But for the betterment, for the upliftment of the human society, devotee also become like one of them. In the chapter 3:26, Krishna explained, Na buddhi bedam jhanaye agyanam karma sanginam josayet sarva karmane vidwan yukta samachara. Krishna explained that people in the world are doing, all kinds of activities, and then they become attached to these activities. Devotees should not induce them to stop that activity. Whereas the devotee should tell them, carry on your activities, but devotee should inject devotional service. They should induce Krishna consciousness into the activities. If they're going to work, don't tell them stop working, it's all karmi activities. If they're going to the college and university, don't tell them, it's all useless. They will never follow. For the bodily concept, for the maintenance of the body, they need some work, they need to earn money, they need to do some social activities. So Krishna explained we should not complicate, should not confuse these people out there. Should not tell them stop. No. But introduce devotion. There's only devotion is lacking in the world. Devotion to the Lord is lacking. The love to the Lord is lacking. That is why all over the world, even they achieve so many material advancement, they are not very happy, they are not very peaceful. All kinds of trouble and difficulties, even the own family, they appears because there is no love in their heart. If they've got so much of love in their heart, they enjoy every single thing in the material world. When they don't have love in their heart, their work also they're frustrated, their family also they're frustrated, even the money also they're frustrated, every single way they're frustrated because there is no love. You're not enjoying what you're doing. So Krishna says that don't induce them, don't tell them stop, 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 stop. But inject Krishna consciousness into everything they do. Very, very important. So we've been talking about the 16 samskara, Garbhadan samskara. See, there are 12 kinds of children are born in this world. This Manu says about this thing. Our son is one kind of child, Setrajan, Tattan, Krutiraman, Kudottaman, Abhavitan, Kanidan, Sagodan, Kinidan, Bahunarban, Suyatatan and Parasavan. There are 12 kinds of children born in the world. Sometimes we wonder why there is so much of problem in the world. Because all these unwanted population, unwanted children have taken birth in this world. So our son is the child born from a legal marriage. The Krishna conscious marriage. They are legal marriage. Somewhere or other, whether the parents, they would have seen these boys and girls, compatibility would have been done, they come together. Or they also would have been lovers in the world. After some time they get married. So this is legal that they got married. And the child born from that marriage is called aurasan. There's a second kind of child also born in this world. It's called Setrajan. That means it is called test tube baby. The lady, the sperm is taken from another man, injected into the womb of this lady. And the child is born is test tube. It's not the same as the legal marriage, aurasan child. The third is that, called Tattan, this child, the family got so many children. But there are some family, they don't have children, so they may give one, okay, never mind, you take one. If your relative, your family or your sister or somebody don't have kids, and then you got 1 dozen, give one, never mind, take. And Kriti Raman, the people who have adopted and taken this child, they act like a real parents to this child. And Kudottaman, the fifth kind of child is that, the mother do not know who is the father of this child. She might be like a prostitute, met so many different kinds of men. And, and the child is born, so she do not know who's the father. There's a fifth, it's called Kudottaman, the child. And the sixth is called Abhavitan, this child, neglected by the parents. In Malaysia, we have got so many, many is happened into the Muslim environment. There are child born, and many of them are studying in the college and university, and then they become pregnant. This girl and child is born. Somewhere or other, some of them, they put the child in front of the mosque. Sometimes they throw in the rubbish bin. Sometimes, in the toilet bowl, they flush, So Abhavitan, the child been rejected by the parents. And Kanidan is the child born before the marriage. Many in the Western world, they get married. When the son is getting married, 23, 25 years old, the mother, father also, they also get married in the same wedding hall. There are things happen. It's called Kanidan. And 10th is called Sagodan. Sagodan is the child that, while she's getting married, she's pregnant. And the 9th kind of child is called Kinidan, that they sell the child for money. In the, some third world country, whether India or Pakistan or some country, these things happen, that you sell the child for money. And the 10th is called Bahunarban, the child born from the second marriage of the woman, the lady's second marriage. And the 11th is called Suyatatan, that the child himself look for somebody. You can see in India, somebody comes, the child said, I don't have anybody, please, adopt me. I will become a good child for you. I will do everything for you. Child himself look for certain father and mother. And 12th is called Parasavan, that, a spiritual person, Brahmana, he indulged with the Satriya lady, a person who have no spirituality. And the child is born with one spiritual person with, non-spiritual, combination. The child is born is called Parasavan. So there is why the samskara has been given. Purificatory process. What time I should stop? Right? Okay. So I got 5 minutes more. We may continue tomorrow about this thing. So anyway, the purificatory process been given so that, from these 12 kinds of birth in this world, the number one is the Garbhadan Samskara. You get ready your mental state, get ready your womb to beget a first-class child in the world. Prabhupada say, what is the use of, thousands of nakshatra star? It cannot be compared to one moon. In the Ramayana, Valmiki says, it's no use, there are thousands of trees in the forest. But if there is one tree, sandalwood tree, it brings the fragrance to the forest. Similarly, it's not about how many children you're giving birth in this world, but there you are creating, you're bringing the child into the path of the dharma. Guru Nasashat, Swajana Nasashat, Pita Nata. You are not, eligible to become a father. You're not eligible to become a guru. You're not eligible to become the worshipable deities. You're not eligible to become a husband unless you are able to deliver the dependence. You have brought a child into this world. This is a forest. All kinds of animals are in this world. The moment you leave and go, what happens to the child? So you have to educate your children. There are all kinds of animals are living in this world. You have to be very careful. Now to be careful, and you have to give them Krishna consciousness. So in this way, very importantly, the subject matter of Prithu Maharaj is coming in. And if you can take up Krishna consciousness, if you really love your family, if you really love your friend, if you really love your country, you want to see everybody doing well, and the only way is that Krishna conscious, the path of dharma to be followed. There was a father, the child was 5 years old. The son is always disturbing the father. So one time the father was reading a newspaper and the son coming and, nagging the father. Oh, Papa, come and play with me, play with me, play with me. The father told him, stop, I'm reading newspaper. No, come play with me, play. Then he saw that, he has to engage the son, 5 years old boy. And in the newspaper, there is a world map. So he cut the world map, he tore the world map into pieces and then he give it to the son. You go and put back the world map properly, then come back to me, we'll play. And because he was thinking this boy is only 5 years old, what he knows about the world map, how to put it together. Then within 2-3 minutes he came back, father, I already put the world map together. Father was very amazed how he can do that. He said, how you do that? You're only 5 years old, how you know about the world map? He said, no, Papa, you look at the back. The back was Krishna's picture. He said, I put the Krishna picture together and the world map has come proper. So if you put Krishna in your life, everything will come nicely. Krishna is not going to take away your family. Krishna is not going to take away your money. He's not going to take away anything. In the chapter 9:22, Krishna says, Ananya chintoyanto mamya janam paryupasit esam nitya bhiktam yogam semam vahamya. To my devotees, I give them what they lack and I preserve what they have. Krishna will take care of everything. But if you don't have faith in what Krishna says, Astra Dadana Purusa Dharmasya Parantapa Aprapyamam Nivatyanti Mrityu Samsara. Bharitmani in the chapter 9, text 3, Krishna says, if you don't have faith in this path of devotional service, you say you have to be born again into this material world. So Prabhupada explains all those things. Prithu Maharaj is as good as the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his action. And Prabhupada writes, they say, devotees are the only hope for the, of the world. Why? Because there is no difference between devotee and Krishna. When Krishna went to the forest, he went and saw the Pandavas in the forest. Krishna was very angry. Krishna says, oh Arjun, I was not there at that time when the gamble match has taken place. Otherwise, I would have done something. I would have, stopped the gamble match. And Krishna says, I'm very angry with Duryodhana. I want to go and kill Duryodhana. And Arjun pacified Krishna by his own wonderful pastime. And Krishna told Arjun, you Pandavas are me. He said that there is no difference between you and me. Krishna told Arjun. He said, anybody glorify me, they are glorifying you. Anybody glorifying you, they are glorifying me. Anybody going against you, Arjun, they are going against me. There is no difference between you and me. Why? Because our mission is same one. Krishna said, I have come to this world to re-establish the path of dharma. And you have come to the forest also to establish the path of dharma. My mission is dharma, and Pandavas, your mission is dharma. That's why there is no difference between you and. So devotees are not different from Krishna because their aim is only one. Devotees don't have any separate interest in their life. What Krishna wants to do in their life, devotees are assisting Krishna in this work. So in this way, Prabhupada praised the life of Prithu Maharaj. And so we are so much gifted that we have this opportunity to be a part of Prabhupada movement. And it's an individual battle against Maya. Prabhupada says, don't worry about Amni coming, Amni going. Prabhupada says, no, be amazed to see Amni can stay. Staying, you need mode of goodness. You need to be peaceful. You need to be self-controlled. And you have to perform some austerity, even though, you may like to, tell lies. But then you may think Krishna don't like anybody to tell lies. So you give up your lies. You like to fight. But Krishna says, I don't like to fight. So you give up what Krishna don't like. Austerity. And keep yourself clean inside and outside. Prabhupada says, outside you keep clean by bathing 3 times a day. Inside you keep clean by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. And be tolerant, And you be also, be simple in your life. Be happy what you have got in your life. Don't try to compete with others. Oh, I came to New Zealand, the other fellow came, he's already making so much money. I'm still, renting house. Other fellow got a big car, I don't have, I only got a small car. Then sometimes people talk, oh, you came from Fiji, look at your friend. He also came to Fiji, look how he's living, opulent. Look at you, stupid. Not like that. Happy what you have got. This is what you have got through your, karma from the previous life. And Krishna knows, better when to give and how to give and when to take and how to take. Krishna is very expert in this thing. Leave it to him. True or not? And imbibe the knowledge, read Prabhupada books every day, Minimum you should read 2 hours. And the best time to read, wake up 3 o'clock morning and read. It will stay in your memory for more longer, more easier. And if you read, midday or night, it doesn't, goes in that much compared to you read in the morning. So read Prabhupada books and then apply it in your life. Then you will see that, you're very happy and peaceful. And you always like to be, even next birth I have to come back. I like to come back again because, you have no problem here. Only those who have problem want to go back. Those who have no problem, I do not know, okay. Whatever Krishna wish, he wants me to come back next life. Maybe I got to do some preaching work, in Iran, in Iraq, in Saudi. Maybe he wants me to take to that area. Okay, it's up to Krishna. And we are always same, isn't it? For a devotee, whether it's hell or heaven is the same because both places is chanting Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Okay, it's 8:45. I'll stop here. Anybody has got any questions, any comment, please? Yeah, Prabhu, yeah. 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 Well, the problem is that we have to understand in Kali Yuga, Prabhupada says, no, Prabhupada, there is no Brahmana, no Satriya, no Vaishya, no Sudra, no Brahmachari, no Vanaprasa, no Sannyas. In Kali Yuga, Kalau Sudras, everybody is Sudra. You don't worry about other things because, there is a qualification we have got in Kali Yuga. But Mahaprabhu said, Kiba Vipra, Kiba Nyasi, Sudra Kenena, Krishna Tattva Veda, say Guru Hai. He said, whether either you are, Vipra, you are learned Brahmana, whether you are sannyasi or whether you are Sudra, if you know the science of Krishna consciousness, he said you can become a guru of the world. So in a way is that we are not here to uplift them into any of these things. We are trying to inject Krishna consciousness in their life. And naturally that will become very useful because in the 1848 Krishna said that Sahajam Karma Kaunteya Sadosam Apinatyaja Sarvaramba Idosena. He says that every action in this world is covered by some sort of fault, just like the fire is covered by smoke. But one should not give up the prescribed duty within them because of this fault. So how it can be rectified by coming in contact with Krishna consciousness, but practice of Krishna consciousness. And the spiritual master intelligently, by his wisdom, he may able to engage them in Krishna conscious activity according to their guna and nature. Because trying to bring them into a self-realized platform is not that easy. There are qualifications Krishna has given in the 18th chapter 51 onward. Buddhaya Visudaya Yukta Dristayatmanam Niyamya Cha Sabdadin Visayan Tyakva Ragadvesa Visudhaya Vivikta Sevi Lagwas. In this way he has given about 18 qualifications. He has given a self-realized person. Number one is that his intelligence is purified. Number two, his mind is controlled. Number three, he gives up the object of sense gratification. Number four, he has no attachment and hatred in this world. Number five is he lives in a secluded place to practice Krishna consciousness. Number six, he eats moderately. Number seven is able to control his senses. And number eight is able to control his speech. And number nine is that he is able to be in Krishna conscious trance of Krishna, remembering Krishna. And number 10 is that he is detached from everything in the world. Number 11 is free from false ego. Number 12 is free from false, strength. Number 13 is free from false pride. Number 14 is free from lust. Number 15 is free from anger. And number 16, he is not accepting the material things, not acceptance of the material things. And number 15 is that, he is free from the false, ownership of this thing in the world, proprietorship, is free from false proprietorship. And number 16, he says that a person who is in the self-realized platform is very peaceful all the time. This is the text, chapter 18, text 51, 52, 53, 3 verses. And 54, he says, Brahma Bhuta Prasanatma Nasu Chatina Sama Sarvesu Bhutesu Mad Bhaktim Labhate Param. He is now transcended the modes of material nature. In that platform, he is now no more anchoring, no more lamentation. Bhakti is now going into the devotional path. Bhakti amam abhijananti yavanya chasmi tatpata tatomam tatpato dekva visate tat anantaram. It's only through devotional service I can be known. So now Krishna says that only through devotional service that he can be known, and he can, in the consciousness, he can enter into the kingdom of the Lord. And to come to that platform, to know Krishna, in truth, and to go into his kingdom, one has to be self-realized. And to come to the self-realized platform, you have to have all these qualifications, so it takes time. So the spiritual master, by their expertise, accordingly they engage the disciples. Of course, we don't go and tell people you're Brahmana, you're Sudra. They may not like it, but by communicating with them, by engaging with them, somewhere we know that this fellow is like a mafia. Madhumangal is a mafia, but he likes prasadam. He wants to know. If you tell him, oh, become a sadhu, suddenly person give up your mafia mentality, immediately, and then he's not ready. Oh, he's trying to convert me, he's trying to brainwash me. Importantly, as I say, na buddhi bedam jhana, that that don't tell them where you should rectify. Just give them bhakti. Tell them, okay, come, take prasadam, be with the devotees. Oh, chant Hare Krishna, if you can, little bit, like that, slowly that process will work for them. That's very important. Anyway, you're blessed, you have come here. The life is blessed. Yeah, Prabhuji. Louder, Prabhu. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. That is very important, because you have to understand, in the creation of Krishna, this is natural creation of Krishna. We are born with guna and karma. Nowhere in the Shastra Krishna says that you have to change your nature. He says control your nature. What you are, that is what you are. But by controlling and by coming into Krishna consciousness, the chapter 1846, Krishna says, Yena sarvam bhutanam. He says that by coming in contact with me, participating in Krishna consciousness, he said, automatically everybody will become perfect. That means you will remain as a Brahmana, but you will be a good Brahmana. You will remain as a Kshatriya, but you will be a very good Kshatriya. You remain as a Vaishya, but you will be a very good Vaishya. And you remain as a Sudra, service to others, but you will be a good Sudra. So what Krishna consciousness makes is that he makes everything what you are make perfect. Now we are in certain sort of guna and karma, but imperfect even in that guna and karma, because we are not, purifying any shortcomings in that guna and karma due to our association with the material world. Automatically, Prabhupada said about a story that, a thief, somewhere or other, he wants to become a good man. And then he saw that some sadhu, some sadhu came to his village and they were giving some talk. And then, so they said, sadhu sangha. So by association of sadhu, you'll become a good man. So he followed them. Oh, I'll go with them, I may become a good man. No more stealing, no more thief job. And then they went to somewhere one, village temple, and then night everybody, the sadhu has said all their bags, they put it there, all went to sleep. And this guy, the thief, he got up midnight and then he was searching their bag, whether they have got anything valuable there. And morning, they saw that, all their bags, these are all over, it's open, and somebody, have, checked their bag. So finally, this man, the thief said, I'm the one did this thing. They say, why you did this thing? He said, no, I want to become a good man. I followed you all. But due to my previous tendency, midnight comes, I will go and steal here and there. So that nature have come into. But those days when I go and see something, I'll take and run away. But your association, even I've seen, I've not taken any. It's very important. You always remain in the association of the devotees, chant the holy name. Importantly, we have to spend some time reading Prabhupada books. And by following the order of the spiritual master, by being sincere and genuine, respectful always to the Vaishnavas and the spiritual master. Yasya deve parabhaktiryada deve tadagro tasyaita kirti prakasante mahatmana. By following the Mahatmas, all the hidden, things in the Shastra will be revealed to us by faith in Guru and Krishna. Okay, thank you much for 9 o'clock for being here today, and we'll continue tomorrow. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Nitai Gaura Pramanande. Jai Prabhupada.